Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another off-the-cuff video with It's That Kid Greg. I did that intro totally backwards, but sure, whatever. Uh, so, as of recording this video, yesterday was the anniversary of the 9/11 terrorist attacks, and it is truly a sad time for people old enough to remember what was going on that day. It's really trippy to think that we've come this far. Like, it's been 15 years. I was 5 when the attacks happened, and I remember being like picked up from school and at home watching everything unfold on TV, wondering when my dad was going to get home cuz he was working out in the city at the time. And it was a really scary time. And the reason why I bring this up is not just because of the anniversary, but I want to talk about something that I notice happens pretty much every year around this time, and that is virtue signaling. And I gotta say, it disgusts me. Excuse me. I have like a bit of a sniffle, so if you hear that, I apologize. Nothing I can really do about it. It sucks because it's not even really fall yet. It's still like warm, and I somehow picked up a sniffle, so apologies for that. But yeah, virtue signaling. It disgusts me. Every year on the anniversary of September 11th, we see people hopping on social media. Oh, like this picture if you support September 11th. What? Like, I'm serious. Like, this is things that I actually have seen. And I remember one year I actually called people out on it on Facebook, and I received so much backlash that I had to shut off my computer for the day. And ever since then, I just avoid Facebook on the anniversary of 9/11 because I can't stand people. They're insufferable. Because on some deeper level, I know they don't give a shit. And I think that's the biggest problem I have with virtue signaling. It's that people who do it, they want to take the moral high ground. They want to be seen as somebody who is socially conscious and aware of all these issues and problems facing us. But in reality, they don't give a shit. They don't. They don't give a single fuck about what is going on. I think this is one of my biggest issues with these types of people. Like when I see left leaning people talk about social issues that do not affect them at all, and all they go on about is how terrible of a person someone is if they don't particularly care about the issue. All that says to me is that they don't give a shit about the issue, and that they're projecting, and that they're only doing this to prove that they're a good person. And I hate it so much. I hate it so fucking much. I cannot describe with words my hatred for people who act like this. And the thing is, virtue signaling is not an exclusive left thing, but I think with the advent of social media and with all the issues that have faced society in the past few years, it's like the left's trademark now, virtue signaling. Let's look at a recent story with the man, the legend, the undoubtedly number one Mr. Humongous, because this is the most blatant form of virtue signaling I've ever seen in my life. This, in case you guys don't know, humongous refers to this guy who was at this conference, and he was talking about the safety of women and girls and protecting them, etc. He told a story about his daughter or whatever. And afterwards, some woman approaches him and asks him for his name. And this is all on video, and I'll link it down below. And she asked him for his name, and being a jokester guy, from what I was able to pick up from him, he says, "My name, Humongous." That's it. That's all he says. But this lady continues oh, humongous what, humongous what, and she continues on and on and on and on and on about it. And then when it finally shows on his face that he's had enough and he begins walking away, she begins yelling and screaming that he sexually assaulted her. And then this woman starts yelling and screaming, "Oh, how dare you claim to care about men and how dare you claim to care about women and girls, and you would stand here and sexually assault a woman for saying that his name was humongous." By the way, he did nothing else. He didn't put his hands on her. He didn't point at his dick and go bam. No. He didn't say some cheeky shit like, "Oh, I can show you what humongous is," or some dumb shit like that. No, he just said his name was humongous. And this woman took it as an opportunity to yell to the crowd about how terrible this person was because he made an innuendo to a woman. And it's this, oh my god, people like this really piss me off. And I don't understand why we let this shit slide. That's like the real issue for me. People with more common sense who understand this, they almost never seem to call these people out. And the people who end up having to call them out are the ones who always call this stuff out, you know? And they don't get taken seriously. The people who call these people out for being morons don't get taken seriously, but the morons do. It's so stupid. It's like back when the Oscars were going on and Jada Pinkett was boycotting the Oscars, and it was like, "Oh, I refuse to go to this Oscars because we didn't have enough black actors being represented." When in actuality, she was just mad because Will didn't get nominated for Concussion. It's so dumb. And then what's her face? I want to say Janet Hubert. Her name. She was the dark skinned Aunt Viv on Fresh Prince. That's all. Everyone just calls her the dark skinned Aunt Viv, and she calls her out and she's like, "You need to relax. Like, we all know. Like, we see through you. We understand why you're doing this. You're asking all these young up and coming actors to threaten their livelihoods just so that you guys can stroke your egos." And it's just absolutely insane how far people will go to try and act like they're better when in reality they don't care about what they're talking about. It's like, and I know social media has to play a huge part in this. It has to, because now that social media is a thing and it's never going to go away, everyone can see everything. You know, everyone can see what you're saying, what you're talking about, what you're thinking. I'm pretty sure Facebook asks, when you're about to post a status, it says what's on your mind or something like that. So your thoughts are everywhere. So you have to constantly put up this facade of, well, I have to be thinking about things that are important and that matter to everyone so that they can see that I am socially conscious and blah, blah, blah. It's so stupid. Like, just do you. Like, live your life. Like, I still have a Facebook account, but I have not posted on my Facebook account for about, I don't know, at this point it has to be years, because it is ridiculous. Yeah, no, it has to have been over a year since I posted on Facebook, because I don't think I've actually posted on Facebook since I broke up with my ex-girlfriend, and that was over a year ago. So, it's really silly that people go out of their way to do this and act this way, when in reality they don't care. If you don't care, just don't care. Don't talk about it. No one will judge you for not talking about something. People can only judge you for what you say and what you do. If you don't do anything, you don't say anything, what can they say about you that is true? Other than, hey, that guy doesn't say anything or do anything. That's all they can say that'll be accurate. You know? If you don't care, if you genuinely don't care, don't go out of your way to pretend you do, because all that does is make you seem totally ingenuine to the people you are talking about, you know? If you're parading on Facebook talking about, like, if you support 9/11 or some stupid shit like that, you're not coming across as brave, or wow, this person really cares about me, to people who lost family members, you know. All that is talk to them. They don't care because they're not going to get their dad or their mom or their kid back or their cousin or whatever, you know. They're not going to get anything from you. So why are you pretending like you care? If you're sitting there yelling at a cab driver because you think his hula girl on his dashboard is offensive, a bunch of Hawaiian people are not going to jump out of the woodwork and throw you a fucking parade because you decided to yell at this guy who's just trying to make a living driving his fucking car. Congratulations, you look like a moron. But this is just the precursor to a much bigger video I have planned, a two-parter. You guys can probably guess what it's gonna be, but I'm gonna keep it under wraps because I want this one to be good and I want you guys to enjoy it. But that is all I have to say for this time. Thank you for listening, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks.